Hi, so today's session is gonna be um, very simple. It's gonna be relatively short because it's under 30 minutes, and I mean it for everyone who's sitting a lot. So you can you can technically even start in your chair. Just relax a little bit and start rolling your head in circles, five times one direction, five times the other direction. I suggest that you do what I do with my hands. So I push my shoulders up to protect the neck a little bit more. And don't make like huge circles, just tiny circles to feel your neck stretch a little bit, okay? And yes, if you want to start sitting in a chair, that's okay, but maybe move to the floor. You don't have to sit the way I'm sitting, but find a comfortable position. You can also do it standing. And now we'll go and start opening and closing the chest. It's so you just go with your hands to the front and try to touch them in the back if possible, or don't touch. I think that may be too much. Uh, so just okay. So if you are able to grab and interlace your fingers behind your back, do this. And keep your shoulders low, but try to bring your hands higher up. So you will feel the stretch in your chest already. Possibly you can start feeling the stretch even without trying to raise your hands. You can also play with your palms. Do you want to make them face outside, inside? That's up to you. After a few times, a few breaths, let's go into a cat cow. But so go into the tabletop position and start with your pelvis rounding and then your whole back rounds. And then start with your pelvis and arch your lower back and then whole backs arches and the head goes up last. Do it again like 5 to 8 times depending on how you feel. So yeah, maybe don't start sitting with it in a chair. Uh, but this session you can totally do like by your desk, uh, quickly during the lunch break or something. Um, yeah, remember to breathe and try to coordinate your breath, especially at this point as you breathe out and you round your back, and then you breathe in as you arch. Okay, let's let's fix my sweatpants a little bit. Drink your water if you want and we go and start roll our shoulders. Just small rolls to the back at first. Again, do it 5 to 8 times. I think most things during this session I did it for 10 breaths. But of course, if 10 breaths is too much for you, make it shorter. And yeah, after a few times, go with your shoulder rolls to the front. Mm, Try to do it slowly and rather focus on going into it deeper and nicer than just rushing and wiggling your shoulders to make it faster. All right, let's see. Okay, so we'll go in a side stretch. So put one of the hands down to support yourself, and then the other hand goes up, 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 up through your side, and try to put your elbow above your head. This may be a little bit difficult, so don't try and go too far away. Um, and really focus on not allowing your elbow to be like in front of you, because so this is like may feel more natural, but we are trying to make it nice and stretch the side. Anyways, if your elbow is too much in the front and you cannot really raise it above your head, but you feel the stretch in your side, this is good enough. Um, go into it for again 5 to 8 to 10 breaths and just try to hold it there. Remember to breathe deeply. And don't worry, your side stretches will get better if you keep doing them. Okay. Tiny crossbody stretch. So start with your hand extended, with your shoulder straight, elbow straight, and pull your shoulder down, and then with the opposite hand pull it to the other side. um what I mean is, like, your shoulders, they should be both down. Your shoulders should not be coming up to your ear, what often happens if we just do the stretch, um however. So focus on that. And then again, if your hand is not coming as close to the opposite shoulder, that's okay. After those 5, like I said, I did everything during this session for around 10 breaths, but we breathe in different pace. So take your time and remember to keep pulling your shoulder blades down. um, yeah, you can play with your hand, like with your palm, with your fingers, if you want to, if that gives you some extra stretch maybe. um, all right, so the next one will be a tricep stretch. So pull one of the elbows behind your head with the opposite hand and squeeze your bicep if you're able to do this. um, I think that's the most important. So focus on this bicep squeeze. And yes, my shoulders are hyper, like, they are too much. They are uh don't worry if your shoulders, if your elbow is not behind your head, like in my case. um but if you're feeling that you can give it a little bit deeper stretch, you can also push with your head back. So it's easier when you look down and then you grab your elbow behind your head. But as you're getting more flexible, you can start pushing with your head up. Remember that in stretching we don't want to push through pain. Um, we want to find the discomfort, and we want to find the stretch, but not the pain when our body tells us that's too much, I'm gonna snap, because then it may snap and that's an injury. And we really don't want injuries because they heal slowly, and they painful, no fun, and just slows our progress. All right. The next stretch is going to be this very complicated, like, it's called eagle arms. On I don't know. If for me it's like a pretzel or something. So cross one hand on top of the other in front of you and start low, and then bend your elbows when your palms are touching each other. I think it's easier when you just watch what I'm doing in this case, and then you're trying to push to go up with your elbows to like the same level as your shoulders. I imagine that it may also be not as easy for everyone, especially if you have bigger arms than me. Uh, so just find your stretch, and those are the directions. Like, you start low, you interlace your hands, so you like cross, and then try to touch your palms from the inside, and then when you bend your elbows, you're going up with your elbows. But remember, again, shoulders are low, so don't let your I think it's better when we don't let our shoulders come too close to our ears. Usually, unless you're doing something like handstands or a very specific pose. But for this kind of relaxing general stretching, let's keep the shoulders down low. Okay. All right. And we'll go and stretch our wrist a little bit. Um, so just extend your hand with your palm facing down, like inside of the palm is facing away, and with the other hand, push the fingers towards yourself. Again, it's easier when you look at what I'm doing, and I'm sure you know this kind of wrist stretch. Try to hold your, what is it, what your thumb as well. Don't let it just be loose. Sometimes it's not bad, but just hold your thumb if possible. After a few breaths, switch hands. Uh, yeah, this is very simple stretch, and we'll also repeat it. We'll repeat it on the, like, from the outside. So now the inside of our palm was facing out, but we are going to change and also press the top of our hand in the same combination of the arm extended, and having all our fingers together, do it. Yeah, I think this one everyone should be able to do it for 10 breaths, but if for some reason, of course, uh, if you have any injury already or you have any pain, remember to not push. If you feel like a little bit of stretch would be good for you. mm, but absolutely, if you're feeling like you have a wrist injury and this may not be the best idea, just skip this part, go into the go to the next exercise, and yeah, take care of your wrist. They are also kind of delicate, just like the knees. Okay, so for the next part, we are going into a lunge. So what does it mean? The back leg is on the floor, the foot is on the floor, and the front foot is bent, and the front leg is bent, and the foot is on the floor. The hips are as low as possible, and we are trying to go from one side to the other. That's it. Just do a few swings. Again, 5 to 8. I think I probably done 8 times this one. Uh, oh yes, if the front foot is wiggling too much, in my case it's not, so you cannot see this. But for some people, the front foot is wiggling, like going up as the hips are moving. Then try to put that front foot a little bit more to the side. It should give you more stability. And that's it. It's very simple. Uh, let's, after those 5 to 8 times, switch legs. Uh, so once again, the back, the front, the leg that was in front now goes to the back, and and the other way around. Hands are on the floor, hips are low, and we are trying to go from one side to the other, slowly as we breathe in and out. Yes, don't forget to breathe and enjoy the stretch. Um, this is a very simple thing. I I hope for me it's enjoyable, especially when I go down with my hip, to the side where the back leg is. It's a really nice lower back stretch for me. So I hope you are enjoying it as well. And now we'll bend this back knee, and with the same hand, like from the same side, we'll be pulling our foot towards our back. Um, if you are able, squeeze your hamstring, because we want to extend stretch our quad. So squeeze your glutes, squeeze your hamstring if you can. If not, just keep pulling this back foot towards your lower back and breathe. After 5 to 8 breaths, we'll switch sides. So you can do it the way I did. You can just switch side facing the same direction. And again, we go with the same hand as the back leg, which is bent. And if possible, squeeze your hamstrings, your glutes, so the front of the leg is being stretched. Um, that's it. Yeah, but I notice sometimes people will flex their foot here. It's easier with the foot pointed, like the way you can see it. What I'm doing, this is the foot pointed. And the next one that we'll do, we'll just sit down in an L sit. So your legs are going to be extended. Squeeze your quads so they are pressing your knees down into the floor. Point your feet and yeah, just lean forward with your hands, with your head. You can flex your foot as what I'm doing here. Don't pull them. Uh, this will give you more stretch in the back of the leg. So do it if you really want to, but remember to keep squeezing your quads so the legs are being pressed down into the floor. You can also put hands on the back of your head. Don't pull your head down. Just those hands are adding the weight. No pulling and round your back. So the feet flexed and hands on the back of the head are optional. The basic is squeeze your quads so the legs are being pressed down into the floor and folding like forward. That's the basic, okay? After a few breaths, we will go lay down on our backs and put one ankle on top of the opposite knee, so like lower quad, and then pull that leg that is down on the floor towards our chest. Now, that's enough. And you don't have to grab it like me on the shin. You can totally grab it um, under your knee, uh, because that may be easier. Now the variation is foot flexed, the one that's closer to our chest, that adds more stretch, and then also pushing the knee that's close to our chest away. But those are like added things if you want to. Uh, if you don't, just stretch your glutes by pulling the legs toward your chest. After a few breaths, we are switching sides. So again, um, this leg that is closer to our chest, you can flex the foot, you can push the knee away if you want to, and just hold, like, keep pulling the leg that is further away towards the chest. Try to relax your foot of the leg that's further away. Um, that's it. Keep breathing for 5, 8, 10 deep breaths, depending on how you feel. How much stretching do you need today? Now, uh, let's put one knee bent on top of the other, shoulders are on the floor, and we'll drop the knees to one side. So we don't want to put our knees on the floor. The feet are on the floor and they give us support, but the knees will be just hovering over the floor, okay? We want to twist the spine and take a few deep breaths. We are not aiming at putting the knees down, but yeah. So also make sure that once after a few breaths, you will be getting up with your knees, that your spine is in one line, that you don't have to fix it. All right, and then we are going to the other side again. Keep your shoulders down on the floor and your spine twisted to one side. The feet are on the floor so we get some support, but the knees are just a weight that is, yeah, giving the twist to our spine. I really like all those spine twists. So I hope you're also enjoying it. Then, after a few deep breaths, we will go to one side and push ourselves up. So it's more safe if we get up through the side and slowly, slowly, and let's go stand up. Put our feet wider than our hips and slide down. Okay, let me find the. I was trying to find the best angle. Let's slide down hands on our legs. So this is to support your back, and just do a forward fold, but keep squeezing your legs. Okay. So we want some stretch in the hamstrings here, and yeah, if it's too difficult to reach the floor, you can always go a little bit wider with your legs. Just find the let's say comfortable stretch for the back of your legs. Mm, but keep squeezing those quads. So the hamstrings will be now stretching. Uh, and do a forward fold. You can round your back absolutely. Okay, after your few breaths, go into a squat. And I know squats are not easy for everyone. So if you need, put something under your heels. You see, I didn't have anything nearby me, but if you elevate your heels, this should make it easier for you to sit in a squat and just go from one side to the other. Move your hips a little bit. Um, that's that's it. Remember to breathe. Don't stress too much about if your squat is low enough. Uh, yeah, so under those heels, you can put a towel. You can roll your mat maybe. And the next one will go in a frog. So here, definitely put some padding under your knees. Uh, so for me, my knees are so used to it, but you want maybe a pillow or two pillows, or you want the ends of your mat rolled, or you want a rag rolled, um, something like that. Or I usually use knee pads for whenever I'm on my knees. Uh, this floor was quite soft, um, and the mat is soft, so that's enough for me. Stay up with your arms, so like your upper body is up, but uh, if you need to make this frog a little bit more simple, so as you can see, we are moving the hips back and forth. If it's a little bit too much weight on your hips, for now you can go down on your elbows. I did not do that for this recording, but I hope that you know what I mean. Like, just bend your elbows and put your forearms down on the floor, and then keep moving your hips back and forth. That will take some weight off the hips. Um, but absolutely, preferably, stay up, all right? And after a few, I think I did like 20 swings here. After that, just sit. Sit on your heels with your knees a little bit wider, and then walk your hands down in front of you and go into a child pose. So this is already the relaxing part, already the we are done with. Really, this session was so chill. I hope no one felt too challenged, but rather relaxed and um, like bringing some movement back into your body in case you sat for too long or you're not really moving much on every day. Yeah, this session is for everyone. Uh, Maybe people on higher levels will not enjoy it, but uh, yes, for everyone who's, I don't know, who heard from their physio or their doctor that they should start stretching. I I think this is a very good start. Okay, after a few breaths in this child pose, I sat up and just put the hands on the back of my head. Again, not pulling it down actively, just hands, they are adding weight and stretch upper back a little bit. Um, yeah, that's it. You can round your back more if you feel like in this position. Uh, I needed it more into my like into the upper back, so I didn't round my middle back. And then take a deep breath and first remove your hands, then remove your like yes, then right like look up. It goes hands, then head, and then slowly stand up. And we are done with this session. I hope you enjoyed it and thank you. Bye.